Good evening. Welcome to our Monday's guided meditation session at Vajrayana Institute. And I'm Wai Cheong. So together we'll be doing the usual 2 meditations over the next hour. So what I have in mind for this evening, the first meditation, I thought maybe we can explore the idea of how to reassure our body and mind in meditation. After all, deep within each one of us, there is this wish or desire to be happy, to not suffer. And as part of that wish, quite often it manifests in the form of seeking security, seeking certainty, probably as a reaction to the very fact that life is uncertain. There's a lot of uncertainties in life. Life is constantly changing. So each one of us, in our own way, have our own need for some sense of security or certainty. So we would like to be reassured in that sense. And that also manifests in our meditation. You'll find that if we are able to reassure our body physically that we are safe, that the posture we adopt is supportive, then the body will respond to that in a certain way. The body will start to, in a way, start to relax, start to release all the unnecessary contractions and tensions, because it realized that it does not have to be so tight, so tense, always on the edge. It can actually start to reverse and let go of some of those unnecessary contractions if the body feels that it is safe. Conversely, if the body feels something is not right, something is constantly sort of jabbing at it or just feel very unsettled, then you find that we will not release those tensions. Instead, there's a greater tendency for us to tense up, to tighten, almost always ready to jump up or to run away. So if we are able to, in some way, send a message to reassure our own body in meditation, then we can help the body to really settle down. Similarly for the mind, when life is going well, things are, we don't have major challenges in life, major problems or suffering, then the mind can be quite relaxed in the sense that the mind can be open, receptive. The mind can easily feel cheerful or joyful. Is able to respond well in that sense. But once we somehow become aware of a source of danger, a source of great stress, so to speak, and the mind becomes agitated, it feels insecure, and depending on each one of us, we have different habits, different habitual tendencies, then we will react in our own way. And of course, that reactions quite often manifest in the different kind of mental activities. Those who used to worry will worry a lot. Or you may find that you get very irritable, you get angry easily, or there's a lot of craving, a lot of seeking for comfort, and so on and so forth. The mind is unsettled, it's agitated, is easily distracted, is unable to focus, unable to calm down. So how can we also, in meditation, reassure the mind that everything is okay? So I thought we can start with this idea, of what can we do, what conditions can we create in this meditation that really go a long way to reassure the body physically, everything is all right, reassure the mind or the heart that everything is fine. And as I said, if we are able to do that, maybe our body and mind will respond to that in meditation. Maybe the body will start to physically release some of those contractions and tightening, and really be able to settle down more and more comfortably into the posture, into the meditation. And maybe the mind might find that, oh, no, there's no need for me to worry. Everything is fine. It might start to release all this compulsive thinking, this rumination, this kind of compulsive planning forward or looking backward, remembering the past. So all those activities might start to slow down, or maybe on occasion even stop completely. Right? For the body, we have to take care to make sure that we are able to give the body a sense of stability in the posture. And for the mind, we also must find a way to reassure the mind. Stability for the body in terms of posture, and for the mind, one of the best ways to reassure the mind is, of course, when the mind is able to experience some kind of pleasant sensations that arise out of our meditation. That is actually very reassuring, because if we are in danger, it will be very unlikely for us to feel any form of pleasure. The fact that we sense something nice is happening within our meditation really go a long way to reassure the mind. So let's give that a try, and I'll guide you through this meditation, looking at the different conditions and try to create that for our body and mind, and we can see what happens. So first and foremost, let's find a suitable meditation posture for our body. And it's good to really check in and figure out for ourselves, at least for this session today, how does my body feel? What would be a very supportive posture for my body? So we could choose to sit on a chair like what I'm doing. If you are comfortable to sit on the floor, you're used to it, you can sit cross-legged on the floor on a cushion. That's also wonderful. You can also lie down on your back in the supine position, lie on a firm surface, such as a floor. Then maybe it's good to put a yoga mat down to provide some kind of padding for the body. You can lie on a couch or a firm bed, or whichever surface that provide a good support for your body. So let's take a few moments and settle our body in the meditation posture. So in the meditation posture we have adopted, take care that you rest your hands and arms on some kind of physical support. This is to allow your shoulder muscles, your arm muscles to be as relaxed as possible. You don't have to tense them up during the meditation, just to hold up your arms and hands in some special way. Feel free to close your eyes completely if you find that helpful. Or if you are used to meditating with your eyes open or half open, then you can also do that. Let's start by becoming aware of the sensations felt at the different points of contact between our body and our seat, our body and the cushion, our body and the floor. See if we can notice at those points of contact sensations of solidity, of firmness and stability beneath us. See if we can reassure our body by noticing such sensations, to show that our body in this posture is resting on a very solid, firm, supportive surface, and that the whole posture is well balanced and safe throughout the meditation. So just by noticing such sensations and by choosing an appropriate posture, we can reassure our body that there is no need for it to be so tight, so tense, or wound up, that it is perfectly okay in its own time for it to loosen up a bit, to start to unwind some of those tightness and tensions, and gradually to let go of some of those contractions and tightenings in the different parts of the body, so that given time, your body can really settle down comfortably into the meditation posture. So that's the first step, acquiring a supportive seat for our body in meditation. And we're going to spend quite a bit of time on the second step, helping body and mind to transition into meditation. And here, first and foremost, we are going to return our attention to be in touch with our own body, the different bodily sensations, to reconnect body and mind. So I invite you to start at the crown of the head, to rest your attention lightly at the crown so that you become aware of sensations here. Reconnecting body and mind is as simple as paying attention to how the body is feeling at the different parts of the body. Maybe at the crown, you may notice a bit of tingling sensations, a feeling of warmth or coolness, a slight pressure, and maybe nothing at all, which is perfectly fine. And then allow our attention to flow like water, like to spread and move downwards, so that we notice other sensations, moving forward and downwards into the face. See if we can notice the sensations at our own face. Notice whether are we unconsciously tensing up the muscles of the forehead, muscles around the eyes. Are we clenching the jaw? Is it possible for us, if we do notice some tensions, to gently relax those facial muscles so that we can welcome in a different feeling, a feeling of softness, of ease and comfort into our own face? Check in also on the sensations at the sides of the head, at the back of the head, and maybe also notice sensations inside the head. See if we can do so with just a light touch, without much effort, without straining, without striving. And then allow attention to move downwards into the neck. Notice sensations here at the neck, at the throat. Nothing difficult, not trying to accomplish anything, simply become in touch with sensations here. Moving further down into the shoulders, how are your shoulders feeling? Notice sensations at the top of the shoulders, the front, the back, at the shoulder joints. And if we do notice unpleasant sensations here, sensation of tightness, tension, or discomfort, see if we can acknowledge them. And on such occasions where it's not easy for us to consciously relax those muscles, We simply allow them to just be as they are, not striving to change them, but instead simply acknowledge them and allow those feelings to be. Inviting your attention to come back to the body. Let's check in on both arms at the same time. Notice the very simple sensations here, starting from the shoulder joints into the upper arms. Not looking out for anything spectacular or intense, just very mundane sensations. The touch of the fabric of our clothes against the skin, tension or relaxation in the muscles, subtle sensations at the joints. Notice sensations in both elbows, as well as sensations in the forearms, at both wrists. And feel free to move at your own pace. You do not have to follow my pacing. And how about sensations in both hands? Sensations in the palms of the hands, the back of the hands, sensations in the fingers, all the way to the fingertips. And now that we are aware of sensations in both arms, see if we can give permission mentally and just allow ourselves to rest the weight of both arms comfortably on their physical support. Tell ourselves there's really no need to tense up the arm muscles in any particular way. We can surrender the weight of the arms to gravity. Inviting our attention to come back to the chest. We may have to do that many times, returning the attention to our body when we notice that our attention is drawn elsewhere, most probably to thoughts of past or future, or some ongoing inner commentary. All we need to do is to come back to here and now. So notice sensation at the chest, sensations associated with breathing, the movements of the chest, maybe the beating of our own heart. Notice sensations at the front of the chest, as well as at the back, at the upper back. And when you feel ready, we can allow attention to flow downwards into the abdomen, into the belly, and become aware of sensations here. Sensations at the level of the skin, sensations in the muscles, and sensations even deeper, maybe at the level of the organs. And not only do we take care to notice sensations at the front of our body, we also do not neglect sensations coming through from the back of our body. Reconnecting attention to our own body. Occasionally, when attention touches the muscles, for example, the back muscles, we may find that the body might just decide to adjust itself, moving, shifting, allowing it to find its way into a more comfortable position. We allow attention to gather at the pelvis so that we are aware of sensations here. Powerful muscles are present at the pelvic region along with other organs. See if we can notice the different sensations here. Sense the weight of the pelvis resting on the seat and see if we can mentally give permission. Allow that weight of the pelvis or even the upper body if you are sitting. Allow the weight to rest comfortably on the seat. And then whenever we feel ready, we can allow attention to continue down both legs at the same time, noticing as we go. Notice sensation starting at the hips, moving along the legs towards the knees. Just tune in to those simple sensations. Moving at our own pace, we can continue towards the ankles. And eventually we end up in the feet, where we are aware of sensations that coming through from the soles of the feet, the top of the feet, as well as sensations in the toes. Now that we become aware of sensations in both legs, see if we can also allow them to rest comfortably on the floor or whatever support they are on. Release their weight, surrender that to gravity. And now that we have returned our attention to reconnect with bodily sensations, see if we can allow the whole body to really settle down into the posture, being so reassured of the stability of the posture. We allow the body in its own time to continue to settle down, to unwind, to loosen up, and to release more and more of those unnecessary contractions and tensions. And to further reassure our mind, to help the mind to settle down, see if we can highlight to the mind any experience of pleasant sensations that come out of this meditation so far. However mild those pleasant sensations may be, a slight sense of relief as the body releases some tightness, some tension, any sensations of interest, buzzing sensation, tingling sensations, sensations of ease and comfort or softness. See if you can let them into awareness and allow yourself to enjoy them while they're here. Resting the body in the posture on the seat, we rest our mind, our attention here and now with the body, with the different bodily sensations. And if you like, you can highlight the breath sensations as a support for the attention, for the rest of the meditation. Simply resting our attention, resting our awareness on the sensations of the breath as they flow in and out. So much so that the breath sensations become a support, a resting place for our attention, a place we can continue to invite our attention to come back to and rest on the breath. And with the breath, each time we come back to it, each time we breathe out, see if we can make use of that opportunity of the out breath to release, to deepen the sense of release. Breathing out, we release carbon dioxide, and we can also give permission for our body to release more and more of those tightness and discomfort, and for the mind to put aside anything preoccupying it, thoughts, words, images, memories, fantasies. Maybe they can just flow away with the out breath. Personally, I find what I present just now, this idea of reassuring our system, our body and mind, I find this idea very helpful in my meditation. Help me to look at how to create the conditions to facilitate that. And in response to that, I find that my body and my meditation really has a positive response to that. When I'm able to reassure the body, might take a long time. I mean, we just did 25 minutes, but it could be a bit fast on certain days. But if I take the time, then the body eventually got the message, and really, in its own time, it releases, it really settles down to some extent, not perfectly. And likewise, when the mind is able to contact some pleasant sensations, some comfortable feelings, nothing spectacular, nothing sort of, not bliss out, not having some kind of high, but something very much more mundane, but very feel very comfortable, very reassuring. Then the mind also responds to it. The mind starts to put aside its worries, its restlessness, its agitation, starts to slow down, even though they might still be thinking or the various thinking activities, they are less compulsive, they are less obsessive. They sort of are quite happy to just drift in and out of awareness instead of trying to hijack the full attention. They might be more happy to drift towards the background. And once that happens, then we can have a personal, first-hand experience of the settling of body and mind into meditation. And we can piggyback on that and allow ourselves to go even deeper into our meditative practice. So how do we go deeper? Let's all work on the same idea. So since we, at the end of it, I invite you to maybe make use of the breath as a support, then let's pick up on that in the next meditation and continue using the breath as a support. And now we try on yet another idea. One of the main virtue taught in the Buddhist teaching is the quality of renunciation, which is doesn't have a very good name. People have also association with it. They think that to renounce means you need to get rid of stuff, you need to give up on things. You're not allowed to own anything, which I think is a misunderstanding of renunciation. Renunciation simply means that when the time for change to happen, we are graceful enough to acknowledge that change, the time to let things go. We are also able to allow that to happen. So it's really very closely connected with the idea of change, of not trying to hold on to something when it is time for things to change, not trying to fix things in a certain static way and hold on to things that are by nature changing. So instead of working against the nature of things, to be able to acknowledge that and to work with that. So we can enjoy the company of things and people and situations and circumstances when they're here, when the conditions are right. And when the conditions change, we are also graceful enough to acknowledge that and to work with that. And there are times when we do have to let things go. So out breath is an opportunity then for us to reinforce that idea and to try on this idea of releasing, of letting things go. So think of it this way: when the time to come to breathe in, we let the breath in. We don't try to block it, we don't try to do anything, because it is the time to breathe in. When there is a time for the pause, however short or long the pause in between, the in and out or in breath, we allow it to be and enjoy the pause. And when the time comes to breathe out, we don't try to hold on to the breath. We don't try to fix it in a certain way. In fact, we might feel even more comfortable if we simply allow the breath to flow out, to release the carbon dioxide that we don't need, and let that go. And again, that's not going to last forever. No, after another pause, our body starts to breathe in, to take in life-giving oxygen. And we can welcome that change. Change is not always bad. Change can be life-giving. Change can be exciting and interesting. So underlying the awareness of the breath is the awareness of change. That at different times, different actions are needed, are appropriate. And the more we are aware, the more we are in touch, we are able to do that, to allow that to happen. And when time comes, especially when time comes to breathe out and to release and to let something go, is it possible for us to also be able to go along with it and let it happen? So we can remind ourselves, especially since we have a tendency to hang on, to resist change, we can say the magic word release in this next meditation as we breathe out. And really, be open to see how deep that release can happen. Can it happen physically? Are we going to be able to settle down even more comfortably without all those aches and pain and tension? As we breathe out, are we able to release mentally? Without being upset with the thoughts, without following those thoughts. We can release those words, the images, the memories, the fantasy. And also for the heart, are we able or ready to embrace the nature of change? And as the time comes for us to release what must be released, we are ready to say goodbye. So let's give that a try in this next meditation. So as usual, take a few moments, settle back into the meditation posture. So once again, find a suitable posture for your own body, one that suits you. Doesn't have to be the universally correct one, but one that is ideal for you in this particular occasion. And allow the body to settle back into the posture. Take care that the spine, the back is comfortable in this posture. Allow it to be upright if we are sitting, straight if we are lying down. And as much as possible, we try to ensure that the entire length of the spine is at ease, that our posture has not introduced unnecessary pain or discomfort or tension into any part of the spine, particularly at the more vulnerable areas of the neck and the lower back. So let's rest our body in this posture, making sure that the hands and arms are well supported and that our eyes are also relaxed, whether they are closed or open or half open, that we are not overly self-conscious about the eyes, and nor are we unconsciously tensing up the muscles around the eyes. So let's pick up once again the meditation support or object that we have tried on previously, the sensations of the breath throughout the body. So as we settle down, see if we can allow the different sensations associated with breathing to come into awareness, so that we are able to fully experience our in-breath and our out-breath. The breath can be the resting place for our attention in this meditation. By that I mean we don't have to hang on to the breath sensations. It's not a prison for our mind. We don't have to insist that our attention, our mind must stay with the breath at all times. In fact, it is quite natural for the mind to wander off elsewhere, for attention to be drawn to other experiences. But once we notice Notice all these other experiences. Notice that we are no longer with the breath. At that moment, we can choose to come back to the breath sensations. We can invite our attention to come back here and now, come back and reconnect with the sensations of the breath, so that we are once again in touch with the in-breath as well as the out-breath. And each time when we notice an out-breath, we can, in our mind, gently say the word release. Breathing out, releasing. See if we can make use of this opportunity to deepen the sense of release, to give permission and help the body to release more and more of those unnecessary contractions and tensions. Coming back to the breath, releasing on the out breath, maybe the agitation of the mind, the different thoughts that pop into the mind, the words, the images, the memories, the fantasies. Maybe some of them can also flow away with the breath. Coming back to the breath sensations, inviting our own attention to reconnect with the breath. When we notice that our attention has drifted off elsewhere, breathing out, we can remind ourselves to soften the muscles of the face. So often we will unconsciously tense up those muscles of the face, contracting, tightening. And as and when we do notice that, see if we can, on an out breath, gently relax our facial muscles. Let in a feeling of softness, of ease and comfort, not only to our face, but also into our meditation. Coming back to the breath sensations, see if we can make use of this opportunity of the meditation to cultivate, to familiarize ourselves with the movement of release, of letting go. Piggyback on our natural out breath, breathing out, just as we naturally release the carbon dioxide in our lungs. See if we can also try on the possibility of releasing the more and more of the physical contractions and tension may also be released on their own. the different thoughts, ideas, memories, different inner dialogue, conversations, commentaries, they can also be released on the out breath. Coming back to the breath sensations, when we do notice that attention is drawn elsewhere, without feeling frustrated, see if we can regard that as natural. Changes are natural, and all we need to do is to respond to it appropriately. We invite our attention to come back here and now, to notice what's going on in this moment, and to reconnect with the sensations of the breath. And on the out breath, make use of that opportunity. Remind ourselves with the simple word release, that we can deepen the release right here, right now, and see what happens. And finally, I invite you to expand the scope of your awareness so that alongside the breath, you can check in and notice the state of your body and mind at the end of meditation. See if we can highlight anything positive, beneficial, anything pleasant, what I would call anything auspicious coming out of this meditation. Notice physically any sense of pleasure, comfort, ease in any part of your body. While we can also acknowledge any discomfort or pain, area of tensions that still persist. Likewise with the mind, highlight anything positive we can find in this meditation. Maybe a sense of stillness or calmness. When thoughts quiet down, there is a wonderful sense of silence that accompanies the presence of our awareness. Maybe you notice a feeling of spaciousness in your own meditation. See if we can acknowledge and appreciate anything pleasant and helpful, beneficial. But also, we can acknowledge any challenges. Maybe we still have lots of thoughts, attention is caught up in the past or future. We feel very drowsy, downness. We can also acknowledge all these different experiences. We highlight the positive so that we build really positive associations with our own meditation practice. So each time we come back to meditation, we're able to trigger those same positive, uplifting associations, which goes a long way to help us enter deeper and deeper states of meditation. Okay, thank you very much for your attention to yourself, to your own breath, to your own body and mind. And that's it for today. And I wish you have a good week ahead and hope to see you next Monday. So good night.